Thank you very much. Let us learn today's lesson. And what I want us to learn is about model town board, lesson number 3, part 2. Part 1, we did about introduction to model town board. We see our model town board has got 2 types of the roads. So we say there's the feature here in front of us. It is called a model town board. Yes, so a model town board, we say it is a representation of all the roads network in and out of the town that are found in and out of town that are found in East Africa. So therefore we say in the model town board we have 2 types of roads. We have 2 types of roads. Type number 1, we say it is called one-way traffic. One-way traffic, for example, where vehicle move in the same direction and there is more than 3 lanes. Second type number 2, we say it's a two-way traffic. Yes, those are the 2 main types of roads found in the model town board. Number 1, we say it's a one-way traffic. Number 2 is a two-way traffic. Now, that is what we did in the previous lesson, number 2, or lesson number 3, part 1. So in lesson number 3, part 2, I want us to check about roundabout. Because we call this one one-way traffic, and one-way traffic further, we said is divided into 2. Number 1, we said we have a major road. Number 2, we have a minor road. You can see here. So 2 types of the roads in Kenya: one-way traffic and two-way traffic. Types of one-way traffic, we say we have a major road and a minor road. Now, both of the options here, they must approach roundabout. Therefore, in this section is where we are going to learn more about roundabout. We are going to understand how do you approach roundabout. What we are going to check, how do you count lanes in the roundabout. We are going to know from where we come trains from, and how many degrees are we making a turn. Are we together? Yes. And as well, we are going to know rules and regulations for roundabout. And as well, we are going to know about the types of roundabout we have in Kenya and in East Africa. So for those who are watching us by the YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, ask me the question via the comment section, and I'm going to answer you just like away. Thank you very much, and feel free to interact with me because you're going to learn with a team of experts. So for my dear students, you can write today's date. And as well, today is date 5. What's your time? Good. So you can write heading roundabout. So today is lesson number 3, part 2. Lesson number 3, part 2 of those lessons you will be taking through in driving school. Roundabout. Yes. So, roundabout is this feature you can see in front of us here. This is what we call a roundabout. Yes, roundabout. So, we need to describe and say what is a roundabout. So, we can say roundabout is the innermost lane. Roundabout is the innermost lane. This lane here. Roundabout is the innermost lane. Because it ends up to a full circle. Roundabout is the innermost lane because it ends up to a full circle. Because it ends up to a full circle of 360 degrees. Hii innermost lane is what we define as a roundabout. You get the pointer? Now, we can explain it further because someone can ask, what about the other lanes? So we can continue and say, continuation. That is, or i.e., that is lane 3, lane 2, lane 1 act as a space stroke area for roundabout. Act as a space stroke area for roundabout. Yes, so we are taking notes. That's right, behind with me. So roundabout is the innermost lane because it ends up to a full circle of 360 degrees. That is, i.e., lane 3, lane 2, lane 1 act as a space stroke area for roundabout. Good. So that is point number 1. Point number 2. Point number 2, you can write and say, we count lanes from the outermost to the innermost. Second point, we count lanes from the outermost to the innermost. Yes. What can I explain about that point and say? From the outermost to the innermost. Kutoka nje kuelekea ndani. Kutoka nje kuelekea ndani. From outermost to the innermost. Yes. From the outermost to the innermost. What I explained to you, my dear student, in that point we can say, the reason why we count, don't write this, the reason why we count it from the outermost to the innermost is because a circular object, you can't say where is left and where is right. So that's why basically we usually count from outermost to the innermost. Therefore, for a circular object, unless you cut it into 2 equal halves, therefore, if you can recall, we used to call it a diameter. If you cut it into 2 equal halves, we call this one a diameter. Half of the diameter, we call it a radius. Now, from here to here, you can call it a radius. Now, if you're coming from this minor road and you want to approach roundabout here, at the reach of my pointer, that is where you find 0 degrees. Are we together? Yes. Can someone help me with this or happen? With your pen. Now, if you move from here, you move this way, you reach up to this position. We call this one a 90 degrees turn. So you want to angle. This is a 90 degrees angle. To where? To the right. 90 degrees to the right. Higher. Good. So, you say from here is 0 degrees if this is your starting point. Are you together? Now, from here to here is 0 degrees. From here, you make a 90 degrees turn to the right. This direction. Up to this side here is a 90 degrees to the right. So, if you check in between from this coordinate to this coordinate here, this is a 90 degrees turn. So, if you add another 90 degrees from here is 90. You make another move to the right. You come to this position. That is how many degrees? 180 from here to here. 180 degrees. So you move straight. From here, you add another 90 degrees. Give me your pen. Good. So from here you move, you add another 90. So 180 plus 90 to 70. You come this direction. So that is how in circumference or in something that is circular, you can be able to identify how to count degrees. Right together. Point number 2. Since this one is a circular object, we don't have left or right. Rather, we can count from the outermost to the innermost. So therefore we count it from outermost 1, 2, 3, 4. You understand that point, eh? So basically what we have learned, we've said roundabout. Now this one is a roundabout. A roundabout is the innermost lane. Is the innermost lane. Is the innermost lane. Why is the innermost lane referred as a roundabout? Because it ends up to a full circle of 360 degrees. That is lane 3, lane 2, lane 1 act as a space stroke area for roundabout. Yaani hizi lezi zingine hupea hii nafasi. Kama hupea nafasi ya kupumua. Ndio magari zinapumua zinapita vizuri. Are you together? Yes. Nice. Haya. So from there we can say thank you very much. Thank you. Good. So from there we've known what is a roundabout. Ukiuza roundabout ni nini? No. Roundabout is the innermost lane. Roundabout is the innermost lane because it ends up to a full circle of 360 degrees. The other lanes act as a space to area for roundabout. Are we together? Yes. Hope you've understood that one very clearly. You don't have maybe you don't have a question about that point. Point number 2, we've said for a circular object we count lanes from the outermost to the innermost. Therefore, lane 1, lane 2, lane 3, lane 4. So don't get mixed up because the way I'm arranging these lessons, I want you to understand every bit of this stuff. I've decided to restart again everything afresh so that we can now understand point by point. Nice. So that is point number 2. Point number 3, we've said that if you put that pointer there and you are coming from this side of the major road, at the reach of the pointer here, that's where you find a 0 degrees position. Right together. So from here to here is 0 degrees straight. From here to here, 90 degrees, you go to the right. From here is 0, here is 90, here is 180. You move straight. 180 plus another 90 to 70. Plus another 90 back to your starting position, 360. You've got that point, eh? Nice. Higher. From there, we have this feature here. This feature found at the center of a roundabout, this feature here, is called traffic island. It's called a traffic island. The main function, you can write that one. The feature found at the center of a roundabout. The feature found at the center of a roundabout. The feature found at the center of a roundabout. The feature found at the center of a roundabout is called a traffic island. But ukiandika unaandika Island. I-S-L-A-N-D. Iceland. Traffic Iceland. Nitamka island. Traffic island. Good. And you can write its main function. Its main function. Traffic island. Its main function. Its main function. The main function of this feature here. It is to control. It's to control traffic jam and accident. To control traffic jam and accident. Good. So, an examiner maybe might ask you, why do we call this one a traffic island? And then you can give your point and say, because it helps to do what? To control traffic jam and accident. Then can you explain to me how does it control traffic jam and accident? Explain yourself very clearly and say, it is controlling traffic jam because we have different lanes from lane number 1 to lane number 4. And in every lane, you must join lane from itself. For example, if this is lane number niko peke yangu. This is line number. This is line number 1. This is line number. This is line number. This is line number. Good. Now, if you're coming from a major road, we have how many lanes here? Good. If you're coming from this is line number 4. Yes. So we say you must. We are going to talk about the rules of the roundabout. But if you're coming from the number 1, we've said ratio must be the same. Actually, that's the point. When approaching roundabout, ratio must be the same. Right? That's the point. When approaching roundabout, ratio must be the same. It means if you're coming from lane number 1 from the major road, you must join lane 1 in the roundabout. If you're coming from major road lane 2, you must join lane 2 in the roundabout. If you are coming from lane number 3 in the major road, you must join lane number 3 in the roundabout. If you are coming from the major road lane number 4, you must join lane number 4. As well, when you are exiting, you are approaching here. When you are exiting from roundabout, the same thing must apply. Lane 1, lane 1, lane 2, lane 2, lane 3, lane 3, lane 4, lane 4. Yani ratio must be the same. So, since now you explain your point, since ratio must be the same, from, into, and out, since ratio must be the same, therefore it helps by reducing traffic jam. Are you together? Yes. And since traffic jam has been eliminated or maybe minimized, therefore there will be no accident. Are you together? Since the function of the traffic island is to control traffic jam and accident. Since the traffic jam has been controlled, therefore there will be no occurrence of accidents. You've got that point, huh? Nice. Now, in this traffic island, you can find some features here, or there's something usually happens here. Things you can get in a traffic island. Number 1, you can get what we call a city clock. Kwa mfano pale hivyo railways, hiyo traffic island yako inakuwa na city clock. Kwa mfano pale hivyo kwa njia kuna city Uhuru Highway kwa everywhere that you have a roundabout. Sio kuna kama ngoji police station hapo hivyo hiyo roundabout hapo ni kama iko na nini sawa sijabasa. So you can get a city clock. Number 2, you can get advertisement. Some guys they can advertise their company via this section of the round. How to get? Others they can plant some vegetation, green plants. There's no why the traffic area they should plant green vegetation is for air regulation, to eliminate or maybe to curb or maybe to change the weather condition. Because towns, major towns, we have a lot of many companies which pollute the environment. So therefore, the green plantation here, they will help by reducing air pollution. Are you together? Yes. Anything else you can get in the traffic island is what we call CCTV. Or maybe cameras that are going to capture the number plate. Look at the piga picha namba plate ya gari inaingia na kutoka. In case of uharibifu na hiyo gari imekuwa involved iko kwa mtandao. Are you together? Kwa mfano hapo kwenye 75 kuna CCTV, unaweza kamera. Unaziona? Pia hapa kunazo. Ile barabara pale ya kesho tukiingia town, hata hii roundabout hii ya 75 iko na cameras. Uangalie vizuri ziko. Ziko. Are you together? Yes. Hi. Now you can write rules of roundabout. Thank you very much for those who are watching us via the YouTube channel. Continue subscribing, like, comment, ask me any question, and I'm going to tell you that you're not going to regret, because you're going to learn how to drive with a team of experts. Thank you very much. We are learning lesson number 3, part 2, about roundabout. Good. Now, we've said that we want to know about the rules of roundabout. Rule number 1, if I write rule number 1, no stopping. overtaking. Roundabouts do not overtake. Yes, it is putting and you are endangering others' motorist life. Good. So tumesema no overtaking. Yes, medical not changing lane. Yes, no stopping. No changing lanes. Ingine, overtaking. Ya ine, no over speeding. Ukiwa kwa roundabout tufai kuwa kwa speed ya juu. You must maintain a certain number of speed. You should not over speed. And the last rule number 5, you can write and say approach and exit roundabout. Approach and exit roundabout. Approach and exit roundabout using the correct lane. Therefore, it means usitoke lane 3 huku then kuja kujoin lane 4. Hiyo mdambo. Ama utoke lane 4 kuja kujoin lane number 2. Hiyo ni ati. Yes, so approach and exit roundabout using the correct lane. Good. So those are basically rules of roundabout. Rule number 1. No overtaking. Yes. No changing lanes. No stopping. Another one. No over. It must be over. You can squeeze, but you will not over speed. Na ya mwisho, approach and exit roundabout using the correct lane. Good. So those are the main 5 rules of roundabout. Ukisikia zingine wachana nazo. And you know how can you wait in a roundabout? Yeah, even the point itself does not trust itself. And your point is no. Yes. So those are the main rules of a roundabout. Good. Highlight. You can write a heading. Types. Do you have any question? Any question about roundabout? Good. So write another heading. Types of roundabout. Types of roundabout. Yes, we almost come to the end of today's lesson. Write types. Types of roundabout. Good. Number 1. And I can say minor roundabout. Number 2, major roundabout. Number 3, global roundabout. Global roundabout. You can explain this and say minor roundabout connect you from one constituent to another constituent. Within a county. Yes. Well, major roundabout connect you from one county to another county. While major road connect you from one county to another county. In which that will connect you. Nowadays they are known as bypass. Nowadays they are called bypass. Yes, they can connect you from one county to another county. Nowadays they are referred as a bypass. So bypass, right together. Yes, they are called major roundabout. Basically, minor roundabout inakuwa from 2 lanes. Kwa mfano, iko kwenye 75. Hiyo ni minor roundabout. Minor roundabout ina mambo mengi. Unaongea tu right left hivyo. Major roundabout tumesema from one county to another county. Normally nowadays they are called as bypass. They connect you from one county to another county. Hi, you can write now globe roundabout. Globe roundabout connect you from one country to another country. Yes, globe roundabout connect you from one country to another country. And remember, it can as well connect you to major and minor. Yes, it is the globe, the biggest. Nice. If there's no any question, then we are good. You can write another point and say, we observe traffic lights. We observe traffic lights when approaching those major and globe roundabout. We approach roundabout to observe any traffic lights. Lazima ukiingia roundabout uangalie vizuri kabisa. Uangalie traffic Right. Traffic light inakuanga na red, amber na green. Red inamaanisha stop. Amber or yellow means get ready or prepare to. Number 3 ni green, which means go. Nice. So point number next, katika point hii nyingine pia useme we observe traffic light from the right. Unaangalia traffic light iko upande wa right. Yes. You observe traffic light from your right side. From your right side. Yes. Thank you very much for watching us on the YouTube channel. Subscribe, write, comment, ask me the question, and I'm gonna answer you just right away. Keep watching, keep watching. Today we are in lesson number 3, part 2. Part 1 we are done. Now we are in part number 2. And we've learned about roundabout, we've discussed what's roundabout, rules of roundabout, types of roundabout, and we've known how we approach roundabout. Nice. So point next, you can either say, we approach roundabout clockwise direction. We approach roundabout clockwise direction. Kwa mfano, mtu wako hapa. Hivi ni anti-clockwise. That you should not approach this way. Ni makosa, ni dhambi. You do not approach this way. You should approach clockwise. So we approach roundabout clockwise. Ukiwa hapa clockwise ni hivi. Usifike hapa uanze kwani kwa US. US wana approach aje hivi. Lakini East Africa wana approach aje clockwise. So together. Ukiwa hapa unakujanga hivi, si ndio? Unafaa hivi ukiwa hapa, si ndio? Hivi bwana, hivi clockwise. Hivi. Should you approach this way, not this way. Allah umewapata wengine. Ukiwa hapa obvious, hapa ni direct. Unafaa ku approach hivi. Unafaa ku approach this way. Yes. Clockwise direction. Good. Haya. You can write another heading as we wind up and say mistakes done when approaching roundabout. 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 Mistake number 1, unafikiria ni kama gani hivi? Yes, like that one. Good point. Number 1, approaching roundabout using long lane. Uko lane number 1, lakini wewe kwa roundabout ile ni number 3. You approach the wrong lane. Hiyo ni makosa. Good. Yes, a good student. Haya, another mistake you think can be done? Yes. Yes, approaching roundabout with a high speed. It's another mistake. Approaching roundabout with a high speed. You must be in low speed when you are approaching roundabout. Always. Good. Another mistake done. Without observing traffic. Yeah. I think your point. Yes. Approaching roundabout without approaching roundabout without observing traffic. Right? Yeah, mtu anaona kama kazi kwa hapo. Zinamaanisha tu ni red. Wewe stop. Bado dereva kusimama, bado anaendelea kuingia. Kumbe hata haangalii. Approaching roundabout without observing traffic lights. There's another one. Approaching roundabout when observing traffic lights from the wrong side. In brackets left. Unajua zinakuwa side zote. Sasa mwenye yako hapa, badala ya angalia ile lights iko huku, anaangalia iko wapi? Huku. Anakosea. Approaching roundabout when observing traffic lights from wrong side. In brackets left. Because there earlier we've said we observe traffic lights from right. So ni makosa mtu akiapproach roundabout akiangalia kushoto, left. Are you together? Yes. How many mystics point angles? How many points? How many points have we eaten? 4. Those are at least good. Examiner akikuuliza utakosa jibu. You have something. Sindio? Good. Now generally that's about lesson number 3. Part number 2. We've discussed about the roundabout. We've known what's a roundabout. We've discussed about the rules of a roundabout. We've discussed about the traffic island. And we have discussed about the mystics dam when approaching the roundabout. And as well, we have learned about the types of roundabout. Right together. Now, my biggest question to my dear student, which is the biggest roundabout in East Africa? Here is a video for assessment. Which is the biggest roundabout in East Africa? Give a try. But a good try. So you can like the note somewhere. The biggest roundabout in East Africa, it is called Globe Cinema Roundabout. Globe Cinema Roundabout. Globe Cinema Roundabout. You go in which country? Kenya. You go? Kenya. Wapi? Hapa town. The biggest roundabout. Kwa hivyo kimanage kutoka hapa uende Karen. Unataka uingie Mombasa, unataka Mombasa uingie Western. Unataka Western ukuje Thika Road. Utoke Thika Road uingie Outerlink. You are the best driver. Yes. The biggest roundabout in East Africa is called Globe Cinema. Na iko Kenya, pale Ngara, hiyo konja, hiyo ina politiki hiyo barabara yote. Are we together? Yes. Any other question, my dear student? Any other question? Science means you don't have another question. So thank you very much for those who are watching me. Thank you very much. Subscribe, like, comment. Remember to watch. Wait for the next episode. Lesson number 3. Lesson number 3, part number 3. And it will be about features. Features found in the model townboard and signs found in model townboard. Thank you very much. I highly appreciate you guys for keeping watching this channel. For those who are writing for me, comment. I really appreciate you. Thank you very much for giving your feedback. Remember that you can subscribe, like. Ask me a question and I'm going to answer you just right away. You know, you can share this episode with your friends and watch the previous episode as well. Put on the notification bell in order for the next episode you will receive notification bell. Thank you very much. Until we meet in the next lesson. Nice time.